it comes to the miniseries of the massive franchise that is Mega Man, there's at least one good example of a character worth analyzing per series.
In the often overlooked Mega Man Zero series, for example, the Reploid racist city of Neo Arcadia is initially ruled by a copy of X, who is served by his powerful armies which are led by his 4 guardians.
While they may not initially seem like much, the inspirations for Fevnir, Harpy, Leviathan, and Phantom are all quite varied, and make them stand out alongside their designs and personalities. I'm the Kitsune Hawk.
And I'm the Quarter Guy.
And today we'll be taking a closer look at the 4 guardians of Neo Arcadia.
So get out your pencils, trivia enthusiasts, because this is character development.
Let's start the analysis with the Guardian who is almost always the first to be seen, the commander of the Jin-En Gundam army fighting Fevnir.
Fevnir is the representative of fire among the Guardians, known for having a burning hair-trigger personality. As such, it should come as no surprise that his name is derived from a dragon in Norse mythology.
Fevnir is described to have originally been a dwarf among 2 other brothers, but between them Fevnir was the strongest physically as well as the most temperamental and fearless. All personality traits that can clearly be seen in the Mega Man Zero series' Fevnir.
According to the legend, when Otar, one of Fafnir's brothers, was killed by Odin, Loki, and Hymir, he, along with his father and remaining brother, held the gods' ransom, leaving Loki to gather enough ransom to fill the otter skin. However, the gold that Loki gathered was cursed to lead to the death of whomever possessed it. Overcome by greed, Fafnir killed his father to claim the treasure for himself. Eventually, he transformed into a dragon in order to protect his ill-gotten gains.
This transformation from humanoid to dragon is cleverly portrayed in Mega Man Zero 2, where, in the midst of infiltrating Neo Arcadia, Fevnir challenges Zero by transforming into his armed phenomenon form, which has a noticeable dragon motif to it. However, you might also be surprised to know that his weapons hold their own references.
His twin cannons are known as Sodom and Gomorrah, a reference to 2 cities which were destroyed in an act of God according to the Book of Genesis. The cities were known for being a wretched hive of sin, and were extinguished in fire and brimstone, save for the family of Lot, who were told to leave and not look back. Fevnir's attack, where he shoots fireballs into the sky for them to fall from above, parallels the destruction of the 2 cities, except instead of getting turned into a pillar of salt like Lot's wife, looking back could get Zero turned into a pile of scrap.
Next in chronological order is the leader of the Meikai army, Fairy Leviathan, who gets her name from a sea monster detailed in the Tanakh of Judaism or Old Testament of Christianity.
Befitting Leviathan's element of water and ice, her namesake is mentioned a few times in the Old Testament, most notably in the Book of Job, which describes the beast as a sea creature of terrifying power. The beast is also mentioned in Psalm 74 and 104, as well as in the Book of Isaiah. The name has come to refer to any number of sea monsters, and has found its way into many forms of popular culture, including as a summon in Final Fantasy. Like Fevnir before her, Leviathan has her own armed phenomenon form, in which she transforms into a robotic creature resembling a manta ray, befitting her origin.
Also similar to Fevnir, there's a connection to a separate culture in Leviathan's weapon of choice. While the spear named the Frost Javelin might not seem like much initially, the recurring theme of sea monsters might tie her weapon choice with a gay bull, a spear given to the Irish hero Cuchulainn, that was said to be made out of a sea monster's bone. The legend also states that the bone came from a sea monster killed by another of its ilk, so Leviathan using a spear made from another sea dweller's bones makes perfect sense.
Next up under the microscope is the leader of the Reku army, as well as the de facto leader of the Guardians, Sage Harpy.
Harpy's name is taken straight from the ancient Greek word for harpy, a creature from the aforementioned culture's mythos being described as half woman and half bird, specifically half bird of prey.
However, Harpy's design also takes a few cues from the Valkyries of Norse mythology. According to myth, the Valkyries were female spirits who led the souls of deceased warriors to Valhalla so that they could prepare for the events of Ragnarok, the war of the gods which would bring about the end of the world. The resemblance is most apparent in the wing-like design of Harpy's helmet, the likes of which were worn by the Valkyries, as well as the wing-like thrusters on its back.
To veer out the inspiration for Harpy's element of electricity, this goes to his armed phenomenon form from Mega Man Zero 2. Not only does this design go back to the Harpies of Greek mythology, but the design bears notable resemblance to an eagle, which, in Greek mythology, is seen as the symbol of Zeus, the father of the gods and respected god of thunder and lightning. And now comes the last of Master X's guardians, the leader of the Zan-E army, Hidden Phantom.
The word phantom is actually a common one, used to refer to the spirits of the dead which manifest in physical form. Throughout history and to this day, the subject of such spirits has been a mystery covered in an enigma. So what does this have to do with Phantom himself? At first, the connection seems like a stretch, but there's more to this than it seems at first glance, much like many mysteries.
Of course, there's his obvious ninja-based design, death in the original Mega Man Zero, and reappearance in Zero 3 as compiled data, but there also exists concept art of an unused arm phenomenon form for Phantom, had he appeared in Zero 2. The appearance of this unused form is reminiscent of a wraith, which is a term for a phantom in Scottish dialect.
Backing up for a second, while ninjas in modern culture have been portrayed as masters of mystic arts, which as we know is total bull, actual ninjas were known to be masters of stealth who specialized in espionage, assassinations, and sabotage. The techniques of ninjas, also known as shinobi, centered on making sure that one could complete his or her mission without the enemy ever knowing. Kind of like, a phantom. While concrete records of real ninjas are scarce, it's believed that their techniques included tactics still used today, including the use of fire as distraction, as well as various forms of disguises and camouflage. If you'd like, think of it as a sort of precursor to Solid Snake. Or not, your call. This has been Character Development. If there's a character you want Kit to cover in a future episode, leave a suggestion in the comments below. Or you could just leave your thoughts on the episode. And since Kit's not the only one who enjoys an underrated series featuring cute girls, check out my top 10 Arcana Heart characters if you want. Or if you're into more manly stuff, feel free to watch me and Regnilla tear down the Dire Morales in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I'm the Quarter Guy, and I say to you, thanks for watching.